What's up, guys? So you want to know what it's like driving for Swift, right? I'm gonna go over the pay, what it's like working here, what the leadership is like, home time, the equipment, and the lifestyle of trucking.
It's all about humanity.
So before we get into the video, if you end up enjoying it, don't forget to give me a thumb, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And if you're so kind, hit that subscribe button. So first things first, why I'm driving for Swift. I'm here like most drivers, I'm here for the experience. I'm seeking my own trucking authority. I kind of already have it, it's just not activated yet. And what I mean by that is I have the DOT number, the MC, the CA, EIN, the LLC's formed here in the state of California, classified as an S Corp, yada, yada, yada. If you're interested in that sort of material, feel free to subscribe. Definitely going to be posting my journey on what it's like going through the trucking industry from a company and a business perspective. The pay, Swift for the most part, they pay a set rate per mile you drive. So, you know, they might start you off, depending on what position you're seeking or you're getting hired for, they might start you off at like 50 cents a mile, meaning you drive 500 miles in a day at 50 cents a mile, you're making $250 that day. And 500 miles a day, that's real easy to obtain as long as they have the work out there for you. For me, I'm making $1,000 a week guaranteed because I'm falling under their guaranteed $1,000 a week program for new solo drivers within their first 6 months solo. So I was hired back in September of 2021. This is when they offered the program. I'm not really sure if they're still offering it or not, but for me to stay compliant with the guaranteed $1,000 a week, I have to do 3 things. I have to be available to work 5 days out of the week. I have to not refuse any loads unless it's for safety reasons or it interferes with my home time. And it's only for the first 6 months while I'm out here driving solo. So after my 6 month solo, that guaranteed $1,000 is gone. They pretty much offer this to kind of keep you going with the company. You know, things might be a little slow at the start, you're still learning how to do everything. So one way to keep drivers around is to offer them this guaranteed $1,000. But yeah, for the most part, they offer a set rate per pay. Unless this program is still ongoing, then you can expect $1,000 a week if you maintain those 3 things. Now, with that being said, the pay, it all depends on what you're comfortable making, what kind of bills you have. For me, $1,000 a week, it's okay. It's enough to get by. It's not really why I'm here driving for the company. But for some of you, it might be more than enough. For others, it's not enough. But like I mentioned before, I'm only here to get the experience driving. They also offer bonuses, like safety bonuses, if you go the entire month without getting any sort of safety violations, meaning if you're not making any unsafe lane changes, if you're not tailgating any cars, things like that. And they monitor those type of things because they have cameras and sensors on the truck. Nothing facing inward in the cabin, everything's facing outward, the sensors, the cameras. And those sensors and cameras, they keep track of the vehicles around you, if anyone is coming in front of the truck, if you are maintaining a safe following distance, or if you're making any unsafe lane changes. So these systems, they keep track of all that stuff. And if you go the entire month without getting any safety violations, you earn a bonus. So they have a safety bonus, they have an MPG bonus. If you don't idle the truck that often, and if you stick to the course of the load, meaning you don't take any detours from it, you don't miss your exits and end up going 100 miles this way when you should be going 100 miles that way. So if your mile per gallon for the month is nice and low, you get a MPG bonus and a productivity bonus. I think that bonus is given if you're not late to any loads. Anything that's out of your control, they understand, and you're not going to get docked for that. But anything that is in your control, like you overslept or you took a 5-hour lunch break or anything like that, if you become late to an appointment for a pickup or delivery, you'll get docked on that and you won't be receiving that efficiency bonus. So they have the safety bonus, the MPG bonus, and the proficiency bonus. With that being said, since I am falling under that guaranteed $1,000 a week program, if I get, say I drive 2,500 miles, which accumulates to $750, and I also hit the safety bonus, and let's say I idled the truck one too many times, I don't hit the MPG bonus, but I hit the proficiency bonus because I was on time for all my deliveries and pickups. So I get 2 of the 3 bonuses that get applied to my $750 that I made that week, bumping it up to, let's say, $900. Well, now I'm sitting at $900. Well, that guaranteed $1,000, it's gonna bump up whatever's remainder. So it's gonna go from 900 to 1,000. So regardless if I hit these bonuses or not, I'm still only making $1,000, you know, whether or not I get them. So for the first 6 months, there's not really too much incentive to maintain those bonuses, at least in my eye. But you know, they do come in handy after the first 6 months when that guaranteed $1,000 isn't there anymore. Oh, and the way the bonuses work, depending on how many miles you've driven that month, by the way, you have to at least drive, I think it's 6,000 miles to be eligible for those bonuses. So if you fall less than that, you're not getting them. So you need at least 6,000 miles a month to get them. And then with that being said, however many miles you've driven a month, you get, I think, like an extra cent for the safety bonus. So if I drove 7,000 miles, you know, for every one of those miles I get an extra cent. So that, what is that? That's $70 for a safety bonus. And then same thing for the other 3. So I can get $70 for the safety, $70 for the MPG, and $70 for the proficiency bonus. I think that's how that works. And after I get paid $1,000 a week living here in the state of California, being a California resident, I realistically take home between $780 and $800 a week, right around there. It's not much, but it is what it is. So for training, you have to complete 200 hours driving behind the wheel, one-on-one with a mentor or a trainer. During these 200 hours, you're kinda like a team. And what I mean by that is your trainer's there to help you and to guide you and to answer all your questions and to give you guidance on what to do and what you're doing and to correct you if you're doing anything wrong. But you don't have to drive as a team, meaning one drives during the day and one drives at night. I told the company I don't want to do teams. I only want to drive during the day. So for the most part, I was driving during the day. There was a few days where I would put in a full like 10, 11 hours of driving, and then my trainer would finish off like the last hour or 2, maybe 3 hours. But for the most part, we didn't do any team driving. The trainer's only there to give me guidance and to teach me how to drive the truck. So training took about 4 to 5 weeks to accomplish 200 hours. After that, the company gives you your own truck and trailer and you are sent out on your own. By then, you're expected to know company rules and procedures, how to check in and out of shippers, how to fuel up, how to trip plan, how to do everything on your own. 200 hours, it's a long time. It's 4 to 5 weeks for the most part. So you learn everything and hopefully you retain it all. If not, you know, your driver leader is always there for you to fall back on. Give them a call, ask any questions. They're there to help you, at least in my experience. My driver leader was there to answer any questions I had. And by the way, all the other drivers in the company, even out anywhere, they're all for the most part extremely friendly. They're always willing to help out if you have any questions or anything. So after training, you're sent out on your own. You're out driving solo. You got your own truck, your own trailer, and you're working with your driver leader and he's giving you work. You're letting him know, you know, when you're available to work. In my case, I only wanted to work 5 days out of the week and then go home for my reset for those 2 remainder days out of the week. I kind of had to fight my driver leader on that. The first couple weeks, he was really pushing me to work the full 70 or, you know, at least 60 hours a week. But I told him, no, I can't. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I was told I had to do. I only want to work 5 days. So he worked with me on that. Kind of had to, you know, really hold my ground and hold my stance on that, because, you know, like I said, he was really pushing me to work more than that. I work 5 days out of the week. I'm being sent all over the West Coast: Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Oregon, Washington, Phoenix. I'm driving through Nevada a lot. I live in San Diego, and my home terminal is out of Jurupa Valley. Right now I'm in Lathrop, California, at another terminal. One cool thing about Swift, by the way, is they have terminals everywhere. So for the most part, half the time I can stay at a Swift terminal. I don't have to worry about parking anywhere. I don't have to worry about paying for a shower. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. That whole headache is gone. It's out the window, because at these Swift terminals, there's always parking. I mean, some nights it can be pretty packed, but for the most part, you can always find somewhere to park, which is really nice. So they have terminals everywhere, and the terminals are nice. They have showers, they have food kiosks, bathrooms, lounges, TVs. Yeah, the terminals, they're pretty nice. They have a shop. They're not all 24/7, but they have shops in case, you know, truck needs a little maintenance, trailer needs a maintenance. You know, you need to change out a light bulb here and there. That's very fortunate and convenient. For the most part, I work anywhere between 8 to sometimes 13, 14 hours a day. Some days are really long, some days are slow. Like today, it's very slow. I'm waiting on my driver leader to get me a load. So I'm just sitting around making this video for you guys. The driving, I was never really big on driving growing up. I never really liked driving long distances or anything like that. But it's a different story when you're getting paid. The days, they can be long. I like to start early in the morning and finish, you know, around 12 hours later from the point that I started. So if I get up at 6, start at 7, I typically end around 6, 7 o'clock for the most part. But sometimes, you know, you kind of have to be flexible with your sleep schedule. Some loads might have to get picked up or delivered at 4 or 5 in the morning, and vice versa. Some loads have to get picked up or delivered at 11, 12 o'clock at night. So you got to be flexible with your sleep and everything, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it is out here. The trucks are very comfortable, very comfortable. They're all pretty much new. The oldest trucks that I see out here are 2018, and the newest ones are 2020 trucks. I'm in a 2021, and it's pretty much no different from the oldest ones they have, which are the 2018s. I've driven both of them. They're pretty much the same thing. They're all automatics for the most part that I've experienced and that I've seen around here. All the trucks are automatic, so they're very easy to drive. They all have Bluetooth, which is awesome. The AC and the heater works great. And the sensors on these trucks, they're phenomenal. I drive a 2003 Honda Accord, and that thing is, it's pretty old and obsolete compared to what I'm driving here. The sensors on this thing, they can show in feet and in seconds how far the vehicle is in front of me, so it can let me know that, hey, the car in front of me is 5 seconds in distance away from me, or 400 feet. So that gives me an idea on how much time, reaction time I have if they were to hit their brakes or something. I got about 5 seconds behind them of traveling distance, which is good to know in a lot of cases. Also, safety sensors when you're kind of going over the line, that the painted lines on the lanes and everything. So there's like noises and alerts that pop up when you're riding on the line, or if you're coming up to an object too fast. Sometimes they kind of tweak out and they give you a false reading, and the automatic braking system will kick in. So you know, I'll be in a turn and the sensors will think like the wall in front of me is an object in my way, and it's computing that I'm on a route for a collision. So sometimes it'll hit the brakes, and it's a little surprising, comes out of nowhere, but it's cool that they have that safety feature. You know, if somebody were to walk out in front of the truck, you know that safety feature is there. And for the most part, it'll bring the truck, you know, to a slowdown or a stop. But yeah, that's one cool feature. Also, the trucks have cruise control, which is awesome. The gauges are all brand new and really nice. You can monitor your MPG, you can monitor how many hours you've driven, you can monitor your average MPG, all that cool stuff. And the trailers, they're all for the most part okay, I would say. I've ran into a dozen of them where I had to take them in the shop, get a blinker replaced, or get like a little rubber grommet on the hose connector replaced, or a lot of times replacing the tires, because a lot of them are beat up. And that's why you do a pre-trip, so you don't get a blowout while you're driving on the highway. I had a blowout on the highway. I got a video. If you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. But for the most part, the equipment, it's ready to go. You know, sometimes I do have to take some time out of my day to get something replaced or repaired. It's not that bad because, you know, I'm still regardless making $1,000 a week, whether I'm driving or not. I'm here to work. But for most of the drivers that aren't in that guaranteed program, you know, if the wheels aren't moving, you're not making any money. So the leadership here, they're big on safety. They're always looking out for our safety and everything. If they're always letting you know, like, hey, be safe out there. If for any reason, you know, you have to stop or shut the truck down or get something looked at, by all means, that is priority. Safety is number one. From what I've experienced, they've never asked me to do anything unsafe or do anything that I might think is unsafe. They're always for it. If I think there's something wrong with the equipment I'm operating, I let my driver leader know. And they're always 100% understanding on getting the equipment repaired and us drivers being safe out there on the road. From what I've experienced, I'm sure there's been a dozen other drivers with different stories, but I'm only going about what I know and what I've been through. So apart from safety, leadership is pretty flexible on working with my schedule, on what I have to offer, what I have to bring to the table. They set realistic expectations, you know, nothing absurd, nothing crazy. They don't expect me to work a full 14-hour clock. They don't expect me to work a full 70. I mean, they might prefer me to work a full 70, but if I tell them no, I can't, they're reasonable and they understand, you know, I gotta have a life outside of work and I need to take a break. Hey, I forgot to mention one thing. I was over here having some lunch, just some slices of meat and chips. But I was going through the footage and I was editing the video and I realized I left out one key bit of information. When you have an interview with the company, or with any company for that matter, it's very important that you let them know what you're capable and willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Meaning, if you only want to work 5 days out of the week, let them know that. If you don't want to work nights, let them know that. If you want to be home for your reset, let them know that. Don't just let them know you're willing to go and drive anywhere, or you're available any day out of the week and you're willing to work the entire week if that's not what you're willing to do. Because if you tell them you're able to do anything they ask of you, if you're available 24/7, if you tell them that and there comes a time where you only want to work 5 days out of the week, or you don't want to work nights, yeah, they might be able to work with you, but it's best to establish that common ground and to let them know what you're capable of and what you bring to the table before it even gets to that point. So transparency is very important when you're getting hired with this company, or with any company for that matter. So just let them know what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. You're not willing to work teams, you're not willing to drive at night, you know, you're not willing to work the full 70 hours a week, you only want to work 50 to 60 hours. Let them know that. That way you guys are on the same page, and your experience working for anybody or for this company will be a lot more beneficial and just more enjoyable. So that's just one thing I wanted to mention. Let's get back to the video. So some of you might be curious as to bringing a passenger or your pet dog or cat on board with you. We are allowed to bring one passenger with us. They have to get approved. We have to submit a couple forms and have them go through a whole process. So we're allowed to bring one passenger after completing our first month solo. And we also have to maintain a relatively low safety score, meaning I can't get docked by the sensors and the cameras on these trucks. I can't get docked and get safety violations with the company, because if that happens, then they'll end up revoking your privilege of bringing a passenger until you bring that score back down. And to bring that score back down, it's happened to me, to bring that score back down to a tolerable level to bring a passenger with you, it takes about 2 to 3, sometimes 4 weeks to get rid of it. It all depends on how much you're driving, but we are allowed to bring a passenger as long as, you know, we're driving relatively safe out there on the road. I believe we have to pay a monthly insurance premium for the passenger. I think it's about $20 a week or $20 a month. I can't remember, but there's that option. If you want to bring a pet, you have to pay like a $300 fee. They say it's a non-refundable deposit. I'll look at it as a fee. You gotta pay 300 bucks. I think there's also like a monthly payment on that as well. I can't remember. I haven't really looked into it too much. But yeah, they do give you the option of bringing a passenger and a pet. So this is my last week working with the company. I've been with them for 5 months now. My final thoughts on the company, it's I mean, I don't really have any complaints. It's exactly what I expected. It's what I signed up for. I wasn't really blindsided by anything that they might have not told me during orientation. Yeah, it's very straightforward. It's exactly what I signed up for, and I knew what I was signing up for. I think it's a pretty good starter company to get your experience. I don't think it's a company I would want to stick around with in the long term if I was pursuing staying a company driver, only because after you get 6 months to a year experience working with Swift, there are countless of smaller companies that are willing to hire you and just pay you more. But with that being said, I think Swift does a great job at training new drivers, having these terminals around here, providing like a little safe haven for drivers around the entire country with showers and a lounge. The leadership, they're flexible, they're understanding, they realize, you know, we're people, we need a break, we want some home time, but at the same time, it's a big company, so if you don't maintain good communication with your driver leader, you can slip through the cracks, and some of your requests, like your home time and everything, it may or may not get forgotten about. So it's good to establish that good communication with your driver leader and let them know what you have to bring to the table, and when you're ready to go home. Oh, also, Swift, they have different divisions. They have flatbed, they have intermodal and the ports, they have a refrigerated division, they have, you know, just typical dry van, they have regional positions, they have over-the-road positions driving throughout the entire country, they have local positions, those are a little hard to come by. So they offer a lot of different opportunity for you to grow as a driver. If you want to learn how to drive refrigerated trailers, if you want to learn how to do flatbed, they have those opportunities out there for you. You just have to wait for an opening. What I would like to see different for the company, if I have any constructive criticism, I guess the pay. Just pay drivers more than what you're offering right now. This company seems like a revolving door. New drivers are always coming in, and after 6 months to a year, they leave and they go elsewhere because they know they can make more money out there. So I would think the only thing I have to say about Swift is maybe just bumping up your pay after 6 months or a year, because there's more opportunity out there to make a lot more money. One more thing. I know I said for constructive criticism on the company, one of the things I think they can do better is increase their pay. Another thing they can do better is maintaining their equipment. There's been a lot of times where I would pick a trailer and I might only have one to choose from, and there's a couple things wrong with the trailer. So now I got to go out of my day to take the trailer to the shop or to call on road and to sit around and wait for the trailer repairs to finish. So one thing I would say is with this company, I think they can do a better job at maintaining their equipment while the trailers are sitting around the yard. They can have, you know, one of the maintenance guys go around and double check everything, make sure all the tires are good, make sure the lights work, or make sure they have mud flaps. Make sure that their equipment is good and ready to go. Because a lot of times I'll have to pick up a loaded trailer because I'm T-calling it, or I only have one or two to choose from and they're both messed up in some way. And now I gotta spend some time out of my day to repair that issue. So yes, they could pay more, and they could also do a better job at maintaining their equipment. That way us drivers don't have to spend time out of our day. Instead of keeping the wheels rolling and making money, now we gotta take these trailers to the shop to get them fixed. So there's another thought. Let's get back to the video. So with that being said, if you made it this far to the video, just one more little reminder. If you enjoyed it, let me know by giving me a thumb, give me a comment down below what you thought of the video, and subscribe if you're so kind, and check out my other videos. You might like them. Who knows? Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one.